It's a possibility. I think Trump is probably, of all the players in the quarterfinal, Trump is playing the best. But things can change. We're not even halfway through yet. We don't get you're only halfway when you get to the semi-finals because you've got another 8 sessions to go. So they would have played 8 sessions to get into the semi-finals, and you're only halfway there. It's incredible, really, because this is a marathon of the body and the mind, of your spirit, and obviously of your skill and talent. But Williams, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, either of them. But of all the players I've seen play over the last 10 days, it's definitely Trump is playing the best. I think Selby, just like last year, he's playing someone from his hometown, someone he knows so well, somebody from Leicester that he practiced with, his practice partner. I think sort of the negative side of Selby was that the likes of Woolison and Joe O'Connor, who he played last year, they don't have a fear factor against him, whereas anybody else in that draw probably would have, because they wouldn't be practicing with him, they don't know him so well. But Woolison has known Selby probably since he was 10 or 12, so it wouldn't have the same fear as somebody else from away from Leicester, and that probably helped Woolison but didn't help Selby, and Selby got a bit nervous. He didn't play well. He played really poorly, and I fancied Selby to go really a good distance in this tournament because he showed some wonderful form, all season, but it didn't happen for him. He looked very nervous. The first round can be sometimes the most difficult because you just want to get into a best of 25s over 3 sessions, and you don't want any potential banana skins, but Woolison was, and Selby sort of succumbed to the pressure in the end. Well, listen, he always has a hope. We didn't think that Luca Brecel would have a hope against Ronnie O'Sullivan, in 2023 when he was 10-6 down. He won 7 frames in a row, and O'Sullivan never made more than a 30 break, So anything is possible. So I wouldn't say he doesn't have a chance, but over 25 frames, it'd be very, very hard to beat O'Sullivan. And I don't think O'Sullivan is playing at his best yet. But there's plenty in the tank, plenty in reserve, because nobody has sort of touched him in a way. He's won 2 matches very convincingly, very easily. He's plenty in the tank, and I think he'll be a right handful for CJ Wee, Well, if he does get through CJ Wee, he's going to play Wakelin or Xing Tong. So I think the draw for Ronnie, I mean, he was the only sort of former world champion in that top half when Wilson went out, when Robertson went out, and when Selby went out. Now you've got Trump in the bottom half, you've got Brecel, another world champion, then you've got another 2 world champions in the other quarter. So you got 4 world champions in the bottom quarter, in the bottom half, and only 1 O'Sullivan in the top half. So the draw is open up for Sullivan. There's no doubt about that. And but I think he'll sort of take advantage of that. Absolutely. He's played, I think, his second session, when he made a few centuries last night. He got to the 100th century mark in the season. There was a bit of pressure for that. He's over that now. And even when Murphy came back from 12-6 to 12-10, yes, he was under a bit of pressure, but he produced a great long red, a great 50-odd. Okay, he missed an easy one, pressure one. Then Murphy missed, and then he left him in easy again. So he got over the line in a couple of visits. But he looks very self-assured, very confident. He's scoring brilliant. His long ball game is so good. He's got great power. He's got great finesse. He's got great temperament. And everything seems to be coming together for Trump. So I think Brecel, it's going to be a wonderful matchup because the way Brecel is playing and the way he played against Ding, he's going for his shots. He's playing swashbuckling snooker. And it's going to be a fantastic match. But I just think Trump is playing more consistent and he's scoring a lot better than anybody else in the tournament. Yeah, and for someone who doesn't hardly practice, he flew in on a private jet. He went back to Belgium after his first round. Flew back. He had to get a private jet because of the times of the flights didn't suit him. So he arrived before he played things with 23 minutes to spare. You know, and then he goes out and wins 7 of the 8 frames, and things are weak. The only frame he won, he produced 141 break. So I don't know what's in his mind, that Luca Brecel, but whatever it is at this World Championship, it seems to be working. You know, he's, as I said, he's a bit of a swashbuckler, and he loves the crowd. The crowd love him. He plays shots that nobody else plays, and you know, that's dangerous. That's a dangerous thing to be able to do, you know, for any of those players who are watching him. If he gets on top of you, he can get on a really good run, and you know, he can make players, top players, like he did Ding Junhui, make them look silly, you know. Absolutely, yeah, because when he came back here last year, there was a lot of talk about, you know, the Crucible course. I don't think being world champion, I don't think he handled it very well. You know, he sort of played heavily on his mind about trying to live up to being world champion and certain things that came with it, going to every tournament. You know, he seemed to be enjoying himself away, going on different holidays. You know, he was doing a wish you were here, like sort of Judah Chalmers, like almost, rather than being a snooker player, you know. So I think this year he's had to get his head down, because, you know, he could have fallen off the tour, believe it or not, you know, because all the points that he won from his World Championship win two years ago were all coming off this year. That was 500,000 points. So he could have fallen off the tour, believe it or not. But he got his head down, got a few results, and his tour card was secure. And he's just come here, not a care in the world. And, well, the way he played against Ding Junhui was just incredible stuff, like, you know, great to watch. Yeah, I think Trump was a bit annoyed when Murphy came back to the table to try and play for 5 snookers. It was a little bit too much, you know. I mean, there's no way is he going to win a frame from 5 snookers. Now, it has happened in the past, but against this opposition, I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe Murphy was trying to irritate him a little bit, but Judd Trump didn't take kindly to it. He had a wallop with a red, because was commentating on it, a double kiss. The red went in, and he ended up winning the frame, you know, and stopped Murphy coming back to the table. But yeah, there was a little bit of needle between them. But I just thought it was nice. It was very graceful at the end when Murphy shook his hand and just said, "You played fantastic, and the best of luck to you." You know, so it was nice. But in the heat of the moment and in the heat of battle, you know, and it's good to show a bit of emotion as well. You know what I mean? And if Murphy wants to use a little bit of tact, so be it. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not illegal. Who's been disappointing? Well, I thought Mark Allen might have had a good shot. I mean, he made his 147, but you know, after, you know, he's one of the top seeds in the game, but sort of hasn't really produced, didn't really produce it this year at all, you know. Wow, when I was in the commentary box last couple of years ago with John Virgo, and a pigeon got into the Crucible, would you believe? And it flew around the Crucible, and it landed right on the corner pocket, right in the green pocket, landed and started walking up at the rail. And John Virgo in the commentary box goes, "Catch the pigeon."